So if we take a starter and we take a pattern node and we take 2 blank nodes, we can then hook them up so that on these pattern nodes, you always want to hook to the default green pattern at the moment. And then from here, the outputs can be both of these sections, and you'll see why in a sec. So when I click and drag those, you'll see they have their own individual connections. And then finally, the weird part about patterns is you have to click on a pattern and you have to go to mode 2, and then you have to click and turn on the actual button. All this stuff is going to get adjusted in the future because I know that there are weird things about it, but this will get you going, very basics of a pattern connection. If I go over here, I have a pre-baked one and I'll turn it on and we'll listen to and look at what it does. So you'll see every time it plays, this will switch to the next section that's going to play. And every time this pulses, it'll fire off and it'll cycle. This can be adjusted if we go to mode 3 on a pattern node. We can adjust how much is in the actual pattern, what directions, just for fun. And you'll see that by default it's off. And you can go from here and turn on the sections that you want to connect to. I'll duplicate this node and then I'll go and make a new link off of this. We'll do the same here, make a new link. And now when I hit play, you'll see if it follows the pattern, it'll skip this one. And now it'll hit this one, skip. And then same thing here and get to the end and finally play the end pattern. One really useful combination of pattern nodes is something like this, where you start doing combining of like 2, 4, and so on. So if you do multiple 2s in a row, it'll compound how long things are going to take. What I mean by that is if I turn on the new one and I turn off the old and I hit play, you can see it'll play the chord, but then it'll skip, play the second chord, skip, and then it'll play the third chord, skip, and then play the fourth chord. So that's a really useful way to get basically the same thing as doing, move this over, and now we'll listen again, and you'll see it'll be the same thing. And that's how you can kind of control how things play with patterns.